Hello and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that, because of its political beliefs, can no longer publish its own board games and instead must publish under the name Dalton Trumbo. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to take a look at Star Trek Frontiers from WizKids.
Full speed ahead, Mr. Sulu. My crazy concubine awaits. Mr. Spock, don't interfere. You are my science engineer. At Warp 9, it's girls a bust. Oh. This goes far more deep than lust. Because my name is Captain Kirk. That stands Siberius Kirk. My 5-year mission is to find my crazy concubine.
In Star Trek Frontiers from WizKids, 1 to 4 players are going to take on the iconic roles of Captain Picard on the Enterprise, Captain Sisko on the Defiant, General Martok on a Klingon battlecruiser, or the Cleavage Sisters, Lursa and B'Etor, on a Klingon bird of prey. Players are going to go ahead and explore the new sector of the galaxy in the hopes of scoring the most points or winning whatever specific scenario condition that may be. You can select several different scenarios in this game, so you're not wedded to maybe one kind of game, and you can play this game either competitively or cooperatively. Now, there is a whole lot going in this game. This is by no means a comprehensive rules breakdown, but let me just give you the basic overview of how the game plays out. There's going to be a starting space tile that has a wormhole in it and then some asteroid fields along the way. And what you're going to do is, as you build the game, as you explore the map, you're going to be placing more and more tiles out in kind of a cone shape, so that as you explore, you can all head out kind of in one general direction. Now, as these planets come out, they're going to have various types of terrain. There's going to be planets, there's going to be stars. There's also going to be star bases and Romulan ships and Dominion ships and all sorts of mean, kooky, and friendly and fun aliens that you're going to meet along the way. Now, every player is going to start the game with a deck of about 16 cards. Now, this game is a deck builder, so essentially what you're going to do is you're going to draw 5 cards at the beginning of the game, and they're going to provide you with essentially the options that you can do. What your options are basically in this game is move and an action. So you can move your ship, and then you can interact. You can fight another ship, another player, or a player on the an NPC player on the board. Or you can visit a star base, you can subjugate star bases, and you can do all sorts of fun and crazy and kooky things in the Star Trek universe. Now, so for movement, of course, you're going to want to play move cards. Now, each card is kind of broken down into 2 sections. You've got the top section, which is something you can always do. The second section is going to require you to spend a data crystal, data disk, in order to do that. More on that later. But as you're moving along, you may want to fight somebody or use diplomacy, which is the Vulcan symbol, in order to interact with certain people. Now, at any time, you're going to play some of those cards that say diplomacy, or play cards that say, attack, or play cards that say shields. And you're going to be playing these things, and you can always play a card kind of tapped sideways for one of the other effects. In combat, essentially, if you meet an enemy ship, if you have long-range weapons, you can fire your long-range weapons and hope to destroy that enemy ship before it counterattacks. Essentially, you're trying to beat its shield value. If you meet or exceed its shield value, you kill it. But if you don't, then it gets a chance to fire at you, and you have to play your shields to try to mitigate that damage that's coming at you. And then you get a chance to fire back, and again, a chance to destroy it. And then you're going to take damage based on whatever kind of your captain's damage rating is. You'll figure that out, you'll round it down, and that's the damage you will take. Now, you also have, that kind of helps you along the way here, something called the data core. Now, the data core is very important because it's a number of dice based on the number of players. Then I think you add a few past that. You roll these die, and they're going to come up with red, blue, yellow, and then like some wilds and what have you. And what you're going to do is, once during your turn, if ever you need to kind of boost the power on one of your cards, you can take one of those dice and place it there in order to boost the power of the cards. And as I say, you may also get crystals from around the board, and you can play those at any time, but you can only play one of the data cards unless a card gives you, one of the data dice, unless one of the cards you're playing gives you the ability to use more than one data dice. When it's done, when your turn's over, you re-roll that dice, place it back in the data core. The data core also has kind of a little chart to tell you exactly how many movement points it takes to get through certain sections of space, kind of a terrain guide. Now you also have kind of the experience chart, and this is important because as you accomplish these things, as you win these diplomatic missions or these combat missions or various other things that pop up, you're going to gain experience for your captain. And this is important because as your captain gains experience, you get certain rewards. You get kind of bonus tokens that may give you, help you out and help you manipulate your cards better. You're also going to kind of flip over these tokens that you have that essentially say how many crew members you can carry. So if you go to some star bases, you can recruit characters. There's kind of recruitment cards, and you can recruit characters based on the icons of where they're going to be located on the side. If you can do play the diplomatic cards, you can recruit that character. They become part of your crew. But again, you got that crew limit. As you get more experience, your crew gets bigger. Your crew cards can then be played during your turn, but you can only play them once during a round. And a round's going to keep going until all your cards are depleted. You also have the reputation track. Your captain, based on some of the things he does, may gain reputation or he may lose reputation. He can lose reputation by doing things like subjugating a starbase. You can essentially take over a starbase, conquer it to gain more resources, and to kind of help your position. But also, too, if you do good things and noble things, your reputation increases, and those things can help you further on in the game. Now, again, you're going out there, you're exploring it, you're finding Borg cubes, which also are minis, like your ships. They got little dials on them. There's all sorts of things you're going to encounter in this game. And again, victory depends on the specific scenario requirements that you're playing. So that is just a very brief, very basic overview of Star Trek Frontiers. There is a lot more going on in this game. It is a really big game. There's no particular system in here that's very complicated, but there's just so many systems going on that you have to be aware. This is a game you're going to really have to invest some time in to even play your first time. This game, of course, is based on WizKids' earlier game, Mag-A-Knigget. Now, in Mag-A-Knigget, you have a fantasy realm. You have a fantasy game that you're playing, and it's essentially the same game. Now, I own a copy of Mag-A-Knigget. I have never played it, but I hope to someday. But from what I understand, people I've talked to, it's almost the exact same game, just with a Star Trek theme pasted onto it. But I shouldn't say it's pasted on, because the game feels very good. It feels, the theme, I think, really comes through in this game. There's a few weird, wonky things here and there that you kind of have to dance around, like subjugating star bases and stuff, but generally speaking, it feels, I think, really Star Trek thematic, and I really like the Star Trek theme. I think it works really well here. As a deck builder / board game, I think it works too. I like the way how you're playing the cards, and you're trying to make them work for you, just like in any deck builder. Sometimes the cards are working for you, sometimes they're not. Here, you're trying to get them to work for you even as you're maneuvering around, and so you got to kind of make that combination. Well, where do I want to go where I can make the cards work out best for me? And that can be a very fun and a very interesting, presenting with a lot of challenges, a lot of good choices, a lot of tough strategic choices, and I like that a lot. Now, I got to tell you, I played this game a couple of times now. I played the one solo version of the game, and then I've played a game with 3 other people. So I played with 1, I played with 4. And I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan of solo games in general. So, I enjoyed learning the game playing it solo, but I just don't enjoy playing games solo. For me, a big reason to play board games is the social aspect of it. But I played it with 4 of us, and I got to tell you, I didn't really like it with 4 of us because there's so much going on your turn, and it takes a lot of time that it just takes too long. There's too much downtime with 4 players. The next time I play Star Trek Frontiers, and I will be playing this game again, it will be with 2 people, maybe with 3. But my goal is to do it with 2. I think that's probably your sweet spot. Again, you can probably get away with 3, but I would not recommend playing with 4. It's just too long. All told, I really like this game. I think it's clever. I think it's fun. I got a kick out of it. I love the theme. I love the mechanics here, and it makes me kind of want to sit down and learn Mage Knight now too. Yes, that's the real name, Mage Knight. Anyway, but I like Star Trek Frontiers a lot. So the recommendation for the Discriminating Gamer for Star Trek Frontiers is buy it.
Those Klingons better step aside. Those girls can run, but they can't hide. Leave me a blonde, or better yet, say close and find me up an end. I got my phaser set on kill. Oh, those girls will bow down to my will. Because my name is Captain Kirk. That stands for various Kirk. My 5-year mission is to find, my crazy concubine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and I gotta tell you, if you play this game, it's like going on a Romulan holiday. Romulan holiday. You didn't think I was going to bring Dalton Trumbo back into it, did you?
Well, I'm at the bridge at Disco Club. The Enterprise will ship below. Dude, we don't need no book grip. We need James Kirk because it's hip. Dude, we don't need no medic scan.
That's the story of my life. Oh yeah. That's the story of my life.